Huh?
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 Oh.
Hey yo.
Hello?
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 Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we did hype train. Hey! Thank you for
Yay!
the welcome back hype train. That's pretty epic.
It was really loud. I didn't
Who all
realize.
is here? I need to say hi to everyone. Hi
I'm so
Kano and Red Widow and Ryan and Wolfric and Kuro and Zimba and Botcon and 2D. That's so many people. That's so nice of you
Wow.
guys.
I've got. Oh, hi, Wolfric. Oh, Wallow, what's up?
Hello,
Bimba,
Wallow.
Kano,
Oh, frick, that
Zimba.
reminds me. Oh, gosh, I've been pelted already.
Oh, I saw your like head flick to the side. Oh yeah, I got new overlays, guys.
Oh yeah, frick, so much has happened.
Check it out.
Also, hi, Angie. Actually, everyone really quick go to Sugi's channel and look at her new overlays, because they look
They're
so cool.
so pretty.
Here, let me, link you in my chat really, or can I just, like, shout you out?
Ah, thank you for the gifted sub, Beanman. Are my
that gonna
alerts
work?
not working?
Go check out Sugi's, stream really quick. It's so cool.
They should be working, but sounds like they're not.
Oh no.
Whatever.
Oh, that's okay, Bakkan. I want to look at your stream, actually.
Look at it and tell me if there's something wrong, because I feel like there's something wrong, but I don't know what it is.
Do you have an underscore? Do you not have an underscore?
Okay, fun story.
Hold on. Did you delete your underscore?
Okay, wait, no, I was gonna tell you.
What happened?
No, okay. Oh yeah, I made the things move really fast because I was messing with it this morning and we thought it was really funny. So
We
I
had way
made
too
them
much
move
fun
really
with
fast. Sorry, I'll change that, but like for now, it's really funny to me.
What happened? Didn't you have an underscore before?
Yeah, I did have an underscore, and then I'll tell, like, okay, so I changed, okay, I'll tell you the reason I changed it, but I'll tell you later.
Okay, fine.
Because it's stupid. But then I realized I made a mistake, I need to change it back, but I can't change it back.
You need like wait a month, right?
Yeah, so in like a week, I can do it.
Okay, I'm closing out of your stream now.
Yeah, and then the underscore will be there.
Yeah, but guys,
Again.
don't the overlays look so cool?
Aren't they so fun?
They're so cool.
Shout out to Ree.
Yeah! It was the same person who made my overlays.
Yeah.
If you can tell, we have a very specific sense of style, I guess.
Yeah, I took out the underscore like after my last stream, and then I was like, hold on, but I can't fix it.
Yeah, boo. Anyways, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but Sugi and I ceased to exist for a whole month.
It was a long time. This
I
weird.
thought it was 3 weeks, but then I did the math and I'm like, oh, that's 4. Oh, that's
Kuro,
that's.
thank you for the follow.
Yeah. Oh wait, someone followed me earlier. Hold on, let me
Wait. Also, are the alert sounds not working? Because I didn't hear anything just now.
Apocalyptic Rider, thank you for the
Someone can
sub.
tell me.
Or for the follow.
Yeah, I think one of the emotes is still not approved.
Weird.
I think it's still like locked down. Like I don't think it's.
Oh yeah, and
yet.
Sugi got new emotes. Everyone check them out.
Yeah. Thank you, Beanma. Those were a gift. It was very kind of them.
Hold on, I had to close my door. I can hear animals outside. Okay. Uh-oh, I have to toggle my jacket already. There we go. So, let's talk about, Sugi and I wanted to have a little stream to be like, we're back and horribly jet-lagged.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about, what we did when we were gone. We're gonna be very, very vague on the details.
So vague. Also, RJ made like a little...
I made a little notes page, so you guys can look at that.
Yeah. I don't have it.
I gave it to you.
No, no. I explained it to you, remember? Right before we started?
I don't remember.
Okay. I don't have the notes page, guys. Apologies.
Oh, because you wanted to use your other overlay.
I didn't set up my gaming overlay, so that's why there's no chart for people that are here.
I mean, I'm gonna use it on my chatting overlay. I'm just gonna like flash it and be like, screenshot now if you want notes, or else you won't be able to see them again. No, I didn't join a cult this time. Not this time.
That would have been interesting. That would have been a fun story for us to tell.
Yeah, I'm still saving that story until I get partner. Was that it?
Oh, you haven't told it? I thought you
No,
did.
well, I mentioned that I accidentally joined a cult, but I didn't go into details about it, and I will not go into details until I hit partner, and those are the rules. Okay.
I see.
Anyways,
So basically okay, there's a cat on my desk. Go away. Basically the chart just has like
it's like a little guide. It's a key because we're gonna be using aliases for everyone.
But there's like a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's also a notes
people.
sheet for me, so I know what stories to tell. So basically, when we were gone, we went overseas to do like a 2-week English school, right?
So that we could learn English.
Yeah, so we could finally learn English. No, we were teachers. Actually, we were teachers' assistants, but we'll get into that in just a second.
That's actually part of the story.
It's part of the story. Yeah, my English has finally improved. I finally got better.
Our English is really good.
I can use big words like exquisite. Anyways, here's the notes. I'm putting them up on the screen.
I don't have them. Sorry, guys.
So this is to show the characters in the story and the stories that we will be telling. But Sugi, you have them like up so you can reference them yourself, right?
I can see it.
Okay, cool. So if you want to, I don't know, just like screenshot. I don't know. I'm not gonna keep this up the whole time. But these are the people in the story. You can see that Sugi and I fall under little teachers instead of American teachers.
Okay, maybe I should just I'll just put it over our faces for like a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. It's coming.
Yeah, so the little teachers are still American. I just forgot to write that in. There is just like a very like distinct age gap between the older teachers and the younger teachers. So are you little or are you American?
Yeah, that makes it.
Anyways, the notes are going away in 3, 2.
Wait,
1.
no, I didn't even put mine up yet.
Let's do it on your own time.
Ah!
They're going away. Boop. Okay, so are you gonna explain on your on your end?
If you missed the notes, they're now on my stream.
Okay, so we were gone for about 4 weeks. I think so it was a 2-week camp, and then we took another week as I guess more of a vacation.
Yeah.
And but it was still like work, but I don't know if we can fully get into that without giving away too much information. So I won't for now. And then like a half a week before and after.
Yeah. So
just
like
that kind of filled. Yeah, it was roughly 4 weeks. So anyways, as we mentioned, Sugi and I were
I'm gonna put the notes away now.
Okay. So Sugi and I were assistant teachers in this English camp. And that was what we were supposed to be.
That's what was told to us as our responsibility.
That was what we were told would be our job. And maybe if you noticed during the few weeks that we were gone, there were a lot of desperation tweets.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit stressed out. We're going to explain to you what happened. So, our class that we were taking, so Sugi and I, we were partner. We were both in the same class, assisting the same teacher. So
it should be said we were really excited to work together. We were like, oh sweet, we can totally, this will be fun.
Yeah, we had plans in the work for how we would assist.
Yeah.
How we would help out. So
Wallow just said my favorite tweet was learning how to make a paper boat, which is another story we should tell because that was fun.
Oh yeah. So basically, also, should we say the age group that this program was for?
Yeah, I don't think that matters.
Okay, so, and this is also something that added to the stress.
Yeah,
The age group was preschool through 8th grade.
It was just a big age group.
So, which is like, essentially we're having to make like 2 lesson plans per like, you know, youngers and olders, and it was just a lot of.
Yeah, because it was.
Yeah.
They were sorted into groups, like age groups, but.
Yeah. So what happened is Sugi and our class was like kind of the whole like point of the program. Like it was
we were the focal point.
We were the lecture. Like we were the. You had to put it like blunt or like I don't know how to say this, but basically we were the lecture class. We taught the English.
Yeah.
So
our class was like there are other.
Basically, all the conversation needed to happen in our class. Like there were funner classes that were like more like science and art focused because you know there's only so much like actual education we can get in with like preschool through 8th grade. But our class was supposed to be that, right?
Yeah, our class was arguably the most like
important.
Yeah, not that our class was better than other people's.
And that
yeah, but it was supposed to be very not like intellectual, but like
lecture-y. It was supposed to be that's where the things happened. So, hello Sevenly, thank you for the first time chat. So here's what happened. So we start our very first class, and this teacher, who on our notes sheet has been labeled L. So L is a very interesting person.
Oh yeah.
He's an older man, and it showed. It
became apparent very quickly.
Yeah, but we were told good things about him, and that he had like a lot of like credentials and experience teaching. Like I think like we were told like, oh yeah, he's taught at a university level, so we're like, cool. This will probably be fine. This was our first time meeting him also, which I think is worth which is worth saying.
Where things go wrong.
So anyways, first class of the entire program, we get like, we're all in there, the kids are there, he speaks for 10 minutes, then he turns to me and Sugi and says, okay, we have 35 minutes left of class, what should we do? And then Sugi I don't know if you guys know how teachers work, but they're actually supposed to have a plan for the whole class.
Yeah.
So
then we look at each other and we're like, what?
Yeah, so we're kind of like, okay, well that's very interesting of you to say that.
I didn't know that
and
I
also,
needed to be in charge.
It's okay. Another thing to know is that we're doing this like we're doing this school. We're doing it in another school. And like we are kind of partnered with like a native school. So like their staff was helping us out too. So we've got their staff looking in, being like, what the heck did this guy just say? Because these like kids, they, you know, it's like they don't really speak English very well. So like it's hard to keep their attention as it is.
Like the kids.
Yeah. But so Sugi and I kind of give each other a look. We're like, I don't think that was supposed to happen. Hello, a fire. So we kind of start improvising class, and I think whenever we get on a roll with improvising this class, he's there. Elle is there, and he interrupts us with something completely irrelevant.
Oh my gosh, it was so frustrating.
It was horrible. Like we're like out here, we're struggling. We were trying so hard to to just make up this class that we. Yeah, here's some more background. Go yeah. Sugi and I, we have experience working with ESL people, and we've done teacher's assistant for this kind of stuff before, and like I've done like some of my own interning for this kind of thing. However, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a lesson planner. and neither is Sugi.
No.
Like we
It
came
should be-
in. Oh
it
yeah.
should be said though that when we found out about that we were going to be doing this,
If we were immediately given the leadership position, we could have
Yeah,
done it.
if we had known that this is what we would have been doing, we could have prepped for it, but we didn't know.
Yeah, so gosh, this guy. And then gosh, I'm just like thinking about it all again. So, we did 2 periods before lunch. And then we went into like our break room. And then like Sugi and I, we hadn't really been able to like we didn't have a moment until like that break period where we both just looked at each other. I was like, "Hey Sugi, that was like he didn't have any plan. That was bad, right?" And Sugi was like, "That was so bad. I can't believe that." And we have like also like we have like a business relationship with this school. Like not us specifically, but like, you know, the people that we're working for.
Yeah.
So that reflects poorly on them if our class goes badly. So we're having to like balance it between like this school's staff watching us and watching how poorly our class went. And like we were like telling people, we're like, you like
it was just so embarrassing.
It was a mess, and I was embarrassed. So our American, okay, so another thing, if you saw on the note sheet, if you have it up, I hope you have it up, but we have our American director who, hello Eternal Vibe, hello! We have our American director who planned the whole thing, like, from the American side. Basically, she planned the whole camp. And then I guess native director, I call her the foreign director in my note sheet, but I guess native is more proper.
Yeah.
The native director who basically works at the school and like accommodated for all things on that country's side of things. So basically like enrollment from the kids, the staff at the school, and everything like that. So they're the 2 people in charge. So American director like comes into the break room, and Sugi and I are like, you need to know how badly this guy screwed up. Like L is a menace, and everything we did that we tried to correct him, he would come in and just like undo it.
Ah, it was so bad.
I don't know, do you have anything to add to these parts of the story, Sugi?
Wait, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I thought for a sec I hit the button that was muted. Well, it was just so horrible because every time we would so there was a point where like we didn't have a lesson plan, right? So we got to a point where we had like a few minutes of class left, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna like play a game for a little bit because it's like kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, wait, do you know what game I'm gonna say?
Text it to me. Discord.
We
were trying to be super vague about this because there are some very specific like elements of this where we could get tracked, I think.
Yeah. So the teacher.
So forgive us if we're going back and forth a little bit on. Yeah, that's fine. You can say that.
Okay, so I was like, oh, we'll teach them how to play Simon Says. Okay.
Pretty American game, but also like universally understandable.
Yeah, so they'd never played before, right? Because obviously. So we teach them how to play. They kind of get it, and then like as we go on, they get better at it because that's how it goes. So
believe it or not, kids can learn things.
So you have to talk faster and faster because otherwise it's too easy.
Yeah, there's some nuance to Simon Says as the Simon,
Yeah. So we're doing it, and every time we start to go faster to trick the kids, Elle would interrupt and would be like, you have to talk slow or they can't understand you.
Meanwhile, in his 10-minute lecture, he talked like he mumbled and used huge words that even American children would not understand. Native English speakers would not be able to be like, what's they would not understand what was happening.
Gosh, it was so bad.
So what ended up happening is we we freaked out during lunch period. We had like miniature breakdowns. We're like, okay, this is really like worst case scenario. We have zero plan, and whenever we do come up with something and we get the ball rolling on class, we get interrupted by this guy who has really completely screwed us over. So we're complaining to American director. We're like, hey, listen, this is really bad, and we are embarrassed, and like this is going to reflect on like all of us and you.
Yeah.
So American director's like, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. We will take action, like as soon as we can. So that was good. So we had to get through the next 2 class periods after lunch, with the guys still, and
I like blocked that out.
Oh,
I don't even remember.
I don't remember what happened those times either, but I knew it was bad.
I only remember the first half of that day. I don't remember the second half.
Yeah, so so the next day, he was a American director comes to us and says, okay, would it be better if it were just you two in that class? And we said yes. So she was like, okay, we're moving him somewhere else. He's been demoted. Because, you know, we can't fire the guy because we're all in a different country.
We can't
send him home because that's a lot of money, and like kind of like we don't want to humiliate him like completely either.
We're trying like to be very sensitive about it.
We're trying to be
right?
civil. We're trying to be civil.
We don't want to. Yeah, we can't in like a professional sense. We don't want to, you know.
Yeah, so far since the stream started, I've been listening by ear. Had no visual information if it's provided, but I think I'm getting the basic gist of everything. That's yeah. Okay, so basically for the first week, that you need X amount of teachers. Yeah.
So to start off, this having just the 2 of us was better,
but not good.
But not good. Because we didn't have a lesson plan.
Yeah, so every single, like... Oh,
every
also,
morning.
It's worth noting... Like, okay, so camp ended at, like, 3, I think.
Yeah, 3.
So, will there be a VOD of this? Yes. So, yeah, the school ended at, like, 3.
Sarah's, what's up?
Hello, Sarah's! Hi! But we would be, this was also, like, volunteer-based. Like, I want to state. So we were getting a lot of thank yous. So people associated with the school, wanted to, like, take us out every night. Not as much in the first week, but, like, pretty much every night in the second week.
They packed it on the second week.
So, we were... Thanks for the lurk. We didn't really have a lot of time in the evening, that is all to say. So...
Yeah, so every day we'd be like, we need a lesson plan for tomorrow, but then we would be going out, so we didn't have time.
So we lesson planned day of, like, in the morning.
In the morning, like, as we're at the school, and we're like, okay, what are we doing today? Oh, it sounds so bad.
It was, like, and every day, like... Oh, we also, we got another, teacher's assistant, like, that was native to the country to help us out after, I think it was starting the second day. We got him helping us out, right?
I think.
It was pretty soon. It was pretty soon after, Elle was kicked out. But, like, he was also, the new teacher's assistant, he was also a pretty, like, young dude. But we could, like, communicate with him, and he helped us, like, with language barrier stuff. But after every single class, we would just look at each other and we just go, like, we, like, drop to our knees at the end of every class. It was, like, the amount of stress I was under, like, every single class, and, like, we were just hanging on by a thread. We were being, like, pushed to our limit every single day.
I've traveled a lot. We both traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot, and I've never wanted to cry like as badly as I did on this trip.
Well, we'll get to that for me, and it's
Every
I appreciate your guys' like sympathy. You don't have to feel too bad though, because it's over and we're
it's
okay.
we survived.
It's more like listen to our funny stories now. So okay, here's some other things. Here's some other things worth noting. Let's talk a bit more about Elle as a person.
Oh my god.
So, like obviously the trip was stressful for us, but you know, Elle he's still part of this trip. So, in the very beginning, we kind of noticed some things about Elle.
Just a few little
just a little, just some quirks.
Some stuff. Oh, Karina, hi.
It's worth noting that he's like an older man, and he is American. That is to say, white. On the half week before the program like started, we had to prep the school a little bit, like I guess with just like American English camp or school decorations
stuff.
Yeah. So like I was cutting out some poster board and like prep for that, because there was very little that we could do like before we actually got there, just because, you know, we'd have to like, it all has to be built on location, you know, or like prepped on location.
Yeah, because we couldn't build it and then transport it, because, you know,
it just wouldn't work. So
yeah, you just can't do that.
So basically I'm cutting out poster board.
A simple task, really.
A simple task, and like I know how to do. I was cutting it on the ground because there weren't really any tables around us at the time. So I'm, you know, because I'm not an idiot, I put another piece of poster board underneath so I wouldn't cut onto the ground. Really, like, I say this because of like the second part of this story, but if you guys were cutting poster board, you would have done the same thing or a similar thing. It is not a smart thing that I did to do this. It is simply just how it goes, you know?
That's just what you do. You just have a safety barrier.
So anyways, I'm cutting out a poster board, and Elle comes up to me and he's like, if you're cutting like that, you're gonna cut all the way onto the ground. You're gonna cut right onto that wood. And I'm like, oh, okay. I showed him like, hey, no, it's fine. I got a piece underneath. And he's like, yeah, you gotta do that so you don't cut right onto the ground. I'm like, yeah. Okay, anyways. And I just went back to cutting my poster board. And then, later on, like, I don't know, like a day later or something like that, there's like, we are just getting started.
Oh my gosh, I have so many stories.
So we are, we're getting the last parts of, like, prep work done for this program, and he points at a poster, and he says, like, someone needs to get a stand for that, or, like, someone needs to make a stand for that. So I'm like, okay, I'm on it. So, basically, I just needed to make this poster stand upright, right? That's what needs to happen, so it can, like, stand, like, and it has a little stand that, like, it can stand upright when it's, like, on the ground.
And, like, we'd done this with, like, other poster things already.
Also, so you guys see, you understand what I'm, like, you understand the visual, right? Basically, poster board needs to stand up. I need to put something behind it so it can stand upright. There are a million ways that I could properly stand up a piece of poster board. So I take two, like, scrap pieces of poster board, and I get to work on, like, a little stand for it. And he's just watching me. He's just watching me do this. And I'm kind of doing it, like, the way that I would want to do it. So I get to work on that. And the moment I put a piece of tape down on this poster board, this guy's like, no, so what you're not going to want to do it that way, because you're not going to get it. And I'm like, okay. So what started to happen, like, during that whole process is I just kind of slowly just backed away as he started doing it all. And I'm like, I just walked away. And I feel like he was still talking as I walked away. So we're like, okay, this guy seems a little bit micromanagey. I guess that's the kind of guy he is. Like, no big deal. Like, that's something I can tolerate.
But
and
wait,
it doesn't
more.
actually matter. Hold on. I'm trying to think really quick. So basically, he would just. Well, Sugi, tell your van story.
Okay, so on this trip, there's a lot of us on this trip. So we had 2 vans. We had just like a big. How many seats was in it?
It was like 9. We had 2 9-passenger vans. One of them was actually like a 9-passenger van, and the other one was like, it felt like a minivan that was like somehow converted to be 9-passenger.
So the minivan was like really new, so the seats are electric, and then the seats in the regular 9-passenger van, they're like, you have, like
manual. You got the lever, and you crank them forward to like get into the back seats.
So every time we would get in and get out, the person in the front seat has to pull their seat forward so everyone can get in or out. And that's really quick in the manual one because you just pull the lever and you can push it all the way. But the electric one, you have to like hold the button down. And I feel like these seats were slower than regular seats.
Yeah, they were pretty slow.
They were really slow. But basically, I'm in the electric one and I'm in the front. So I get out and I'm pushing the button to move in. Everyone's like just waiting in the back seat, and I'm like, oh, sorry guys, like this one's really slow. And then Elle behind me just goes, it's slow because it's electric.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's moving slower because this one's electric.
I'm like, what? Why are you even here? Like, what are you? And he's just like hovering behind me, just like, yeah, it's really slow because it's electric. I'm like, just stop.
Get out of my ear. So
I don't need you here. I don't need your help with this. I can do this.
So another story about this guy. That is worth that is notable. Is we were all out at dinner and he got like placed at my like dinner table, which at the time was fine because I didn't know to what extent this guy was this guy.
This was early in the trip, right? I think it was.
Yeah, this was pretty early on in the trip. And then we had another one of the little teachers sitting next to me, and Sugi was there too, which I feel like I am constantly forgetting.
You forgot that I was there every time you've told this story.
I know.
And then I was like, I was there too. We were sitting next to each other.
Well, I didn't think about it because you weren't like part of this conversation.
I chose not to pay attention.
Yeah. So I didn't think about it.
I was like, I cannot listen to this guy.
So I'm still trying to like have some respect for this guy, even though at this point he has screwed up our class and he has micromanaged us a bit. But he overall seems like a friendly dude, I guess. So, yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, he wasn't not like a friendly guy, but
okay, we're getting into it. So, this girl is sitting next to me, part of the little teacher's crew. She's also, Elle's wife was there too, and we will call her M. So, they were sitting next to each other across from me and this other girl, and then Sugi was sitting on the other side of me, but you were part of you were sitting to my other side.
I was part of the conversation at the table next to us.
Yeah. But the tables were adjacent. It doesn't really matter. So, this girl talks to L and M, and it was like, so how did you guys meet? And oh my gosh, this girl. We'll get into her too later.
She's on the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hello, Diesel. I love you too. But
Aww. So this is. Oh, can we say who it was?
G.
This is G from our little chart.
Yeah. So G is so how did you guys meet? To L and M, and then L goes on. The story was basically L was like, yeah, so, we met, at a roller rink, and this stranger came up and introduced us, and then 11 days later, we were married. So I get a little bit of whiplash. I'm like, what the heck? You wanna explain those, 10 days in between? You guys meeting and you guys getting married? And he's like, yeah, so I found out that she was a really, emotionally damaged person, and I felt like I just needed to save her. And then G next to me was like, oh, that's sweet. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And in my brain, all the bad, like, all the red flags are going off. All the alerts are like, uh-oh, this is freaking me out. I feel very uncomfortable talking to this man. And
Gosh.
he was, well, yeah, he's basically like, and I felt in order to save her, I needed to be her husband. And then she agreed because, I don't know, because, you know, she's like a broken person at that time. So, like, Kuro Pepper's just, oh.
Bean Bun says, was this in Las Vegas?
Yeah, the foreign country overseas. Las Vegas. Yeah, so, right, yeah, so, we're just kind of like, or I'm just kind of, my response to these kind of situations is to, I feign ignorance, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. And I'm like, you know, and I'm just, story. You know, you play it off until you can get out of the situation, like, safely. That's kind of my response. But, you know, I think I talked to people afterwards about it. And, like, another one of the staff members from, like, the, like, native to the country was like, I can't believe he said that to you young girls! Hello, Mara. So, yeah, that was just, like, another, it sounds like a teenage fiction. No, it's, like, that's just, like, another note about this person. But then, yeah, that's the play. You dance around and never address, pretend to, yeah. And then you bail. Yeah, we got out.
Pro moves.
There was so much that we couldn't say until, like, that last day.
Yeah. We were keeping so much just between, like, RJ and I. Just like,
no, like, whenever because, like, we would be alone together most of the time just because we were teachers' assistants and stuff like that. But, like, there was, like, so Ichimon was also on this trip, but she was in, like, a completely different, like, class from us. Like, she had her, like, completely her own thing happening. So we couldn't even, like, tell her about anything.
So then we would, like, yeah, when we, like, talked about it, they were like, we had no idea because a bunch of the other, like, little teachers, they were just, like, so separated from our half of, like, school. Yeah, so, anyways, let's introduce another character now. Let's introduce Big A. Because we love Big A. Oh.
So Big A, so she's part of the Little Teachers crew, and she's the only member, I guess, of the Little Teachers who is actually not a TA, and she was her own teacher.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the little thingy back up for a second.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it back up for just a moment as well.
So yeah, so we've introduced L, M, and then Big A now.
Yeah. There. And then AD and FD a little bit.
Yeah.
But, also G a little bit.
G, but, yeah.
So, Big A, she taught kind of, it was like PE. And, like, we loved her. She was, like, we vented to her a lot. So she was kind of like our roommate, I guess. Mostly in the second half. But, the three of us were in a room together. Me, Sugi, and Big A. And Big A was just a fantastic person, and I love her, and I don't know why we don't hang out with her more.
I know!
Well, she just lives far away. So anyways, we kind of, like, vented to her every night about everything. And we were talking about L. And then we were talking about how L was kind of just micromanaging everything that we did. And how it was like, it's so annoying. He just, like, he doesn't seem to trust us. And then she was like, yeah, he's been mansplaining, like, a lot to me too. And I was like, mansplaining? And then all the pieces just fit together about how he met his wife and the way he'd been treating us on the trip. And then I was just like, oh, he's sexist! And it all just fell together.
I was not in the room at the time they were having this discussion, and I opened the door and I walk into the room and RJ's like, Sugi, guess what?
Ellen's sexist! It's the answer!
Oh!
And then we found out later, so American director, her husband was here too. And we found out that whenever Elle had a concern or something he needed to ask, he would go to her husband and not to the director.
Even though the husband's, like, not in charge of anything.
the husband, like, he's just like, I don't know. Ask my wife. This is her project. This is all her, like, this is her program. And everything just, like, fell into place about this guy. And I was just like, okay, I really don't want to be him now. Or be around him now. Sorry. I also don't want to be. But then we told Ichimam. And, Ichimam, like, this is the way she phrased it. She was like, whenever, you know, if we say, like, hello, God King Killer, welcome to our stream. So we're talking about, because we took a long break for me and Sugi. We took a long break for a bit because we were on a trip together, and we're talking about that. So, anyways, we were telling Ijimam about all these horrible things that, like, L was putting us through and that he'd done to us, and the conclusion that we came to, that he is just sexist. And Ijimam is the type to take those kind of opinions about people, like, with a grain of salt, and then she'll form her own opinion based off of her own experiences. But she was like, gosh, after you guys told me that, like, everything he did was so annoying, and I could not stand to be around him.
Which, it's like, she didn't really work directly with him, though.
So anyways, we have more stories about this guy being weird. We have two more, exactly. We have Pants story and Chocolate story.
You go Pants, then I'll go Chocolate.
Okay, so... so let's quickly... just about this guy.
And
so,
then we have other stuff, too.
We have a few other stories, but this was, like, the root of the main, like... This was our main thing with the trip, I feel like. Like, the main arc, the main plot line. So, yeah, sexism is one of those things where as soon as the idea is introduced, all the little flags just start popping up, like, yeah.
You're like, oh.
So, okay. On this trip, I'll explain, like, another story of something that he did to me. So, on this trip, we like to buy a lot of clothes because, well, for several reasons, but basically we just like to buy a lot of clothes. So I ordered some pants online while I was here. And actually, no, these ones were a gift, and it was a kind of a surprise because I expressed interest in these pants. And they were just got for me as a gift, and that was nice. Hello, Sparrow! We're talking about our trip that just went, in a lot of ways it went wrong. We went wrong in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I don't want to complain too much, because there were good points, and I volunteered, you know?
Yeah, it was just, these are just, like, the highlight bad parts that we're going over.
The lowlights, I suppose, if you will.
It's called it the L timeline.
the L plot. So, I try on these pants, and they actually, like, broke our, like, teacher dress code a little bit. But, like, no, I feel like no one really cared. Because it was a gift from the staff of the school, and they were the ones who would have enforced, I don't know. So everyone was fine with me wearing these pants. And then one of the older teachers was sitting next to Elle's wife, M. So she points at my pants and she's like, RJ, are those new pants? And I'm like, yeah! And she's like, looking good. And then M, you know, Elle's wife, just kind of looks at me and she's like, did you order those? And I was like, yeah. Because I didn't want to say it was a gift, because, you know, it was a nice thing done for me and me only. So you don't say that it's a gift. Anyways, so I said yes. And then she goes, wait. And she takes me by my arm and just, like, pulls me over to Elle. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, what's happening right now? And also, I'm being pulled over to Elle, so I'm like, oh no. So she just kind of stands, like, next to Elle, and they just, like, both look at me and, like, look at my pants. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And she goes, like, what do you think? Do you think those will fit, like, I don't know, whatever the name of her grandson? And I'm like, okay, so I'm not involved in this conversation. Okay, okay, cool. So, and then Elle goes like, oh, I don't know. Like, the sizing might be a little bit weird. And then she goes, I don't know, that looks about his size of pants. And then Elle looks at me in the eyes and says, what's your waist size? And I'm like, I don't know. Someone ordered these pants for me. And he's like, okay, but what's your waist size? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't keep track. And I just, like, walked away.
just so bad.
Here,
Gosh.
you weirdo. Gosh, what a
Don't
freak.
ask me this question. Like, I've known you for like 1 billion years and I wouldn't ask you that.
It's like, it's not even what's your pant size. It's what's your waist
your
size.
waist?
I'm like, ugh! You ruined these pants for me. I was really happy. Oh, Sio, is this your first time chat? What the heck, man? I was like almost gonna be like, oh, thank you for the first time chat, but no, Sio, gosh, we talk like every day. Sorry, hi, Sio. The way they asked sounded like they were gonna steal it from you. It's just so weird. Like, why are you asking my pant size? Not my pant size, my waist size. My waist size. Not the waist size of my pants. My waist size. And I'm like too much of a young woman for you to be asking this question, and you're too much of an old white man to be asking this question. So, like, that was another experience of mine with him. And Sugi, why don't you tell your chocolate story?
Okay, I sent you a message first.
Oh, okay, let me see. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like you don't have to preface that, but...
Well, just because of the, because he...
Okay,
anyway,
just go on.
Well, okay, so basically, at the school, the day before the first day, all the parents would come with their kids, and we'd do, like, orientation.
Yeah, so everyone knows, like, what's happening with this English school. And, like... so all the parents and the kids are kind of on the same page, and it's like a nice introduction to the American staff.
And like all the teachers, there, everyone's there. So this is the maximum amount of people that could be looking at us at any one time. This is the most people. Okay, this is important to me that you know this. So at one point in orientation, they have all the American teachers come up and introduce themselves. And it's like kids, so we did a thing where you introduce yourself, you say like what class you're doing, and then you say one weird fact about you.
Yeah, we're catering to a demographic, which is family friendly.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, the most people that could ever be looking at us are looking at us. So,
well, it's not only the most people; it's the most people who matter, and we're on the stage.
Oh gosh. So I'm on the stage. I'm standing next to Elle. I have the microphone in my hand. I'm so full of joy in this moment.
Well, it's a nice moment, when you're like meeting the kids and their parents, and they seem all very interested in what we have to say.
So, first off, I will just put this out there. I'm not married, okay? Keep that in mind for this next part of the story. So, into the mic, I'm like, hi, my name's Sugi. I'm teaching this class. And then I'm like, my weird fact is that I don't like chocolate. And, everyone goes like, what? That's crazy. Whatever. And then I'm like, great, moving on. So, like everyone claps after everyone introduces himself. So once it's dead silent again, Elle is next to me. He takes the mic out of my hand.
He waited for the applause to die down.
He knew, he was waiting for the silence. Into the mic, in front of everyone, staring at me. He's like, your husband will really like that about you.
He's like, oh, your husband's gonna love that.
I was like, what?
And then me and 4 other people who were on my side of the stage, we all made wide eyes at each other. We were all like, he did not just do that.
And I'm in the front of the stage, so I couldn't make eye contact with anyone, so I'm just staring at the floor.
Sugi, I know you're probably not looking at my chat, but everyone's freaking out for you right now.
Thank you guys. Gosh! It was so horrible. I was just standing there looking at I was just staring down. I'm like, what do I do?
Okay, yeah, so we're all just like, we can't believe this guy. Just the fact that we had to put up with him.
So then at this point, I'm just like, I do not like this guy.
We're all very upset. None of us are happy. This guy, Well, it's like, okay, we could almost excuse all these things, you know, if he
No,
did a
what
good job.
prompts you to say that into a mic in front of everyone? No, it's not okay.
Well, it's like, okay, clearly this was phrased as a joke. Where is the joke? What does it mean? What's the, what?
It's not a joke.
Where's the joke? Your husband's gonna love that about you. What is, or it's like, it's just so weird.
Like,
It's
why?
yeah, where's the punchline?
Like, even if it wasn't a joke, what's he implying? Like, I don't get it.
What are the implications here that like,
What?
okay, let's take a look through the eyes of a sexist white man. An old sexist white man. So
It could either be like that my husband wouldn't have to buy me chocolate. That was one person's idea.
That's my only, like, I feel like that's the only explanation. But like
I
can't think about it
Make it make
because there's
sense.
no logic. It's like, yeah, it's like, or that I don't know, you'll be complaining about
Gosh.
chocolate as a chocolate loving woman.
Or like, but I don't know, or like it's healthier that I don't eat chocolate, but also it's not because chocolate's like.
So would the man be happy that you're not gaining weight from chocolate? Is that the implication?
That was my first thought, but then everyone was like, no, and I was like, but maybe.
Well, there's just no
I just don't
clear
get it.
logic behind what he said. And
What does it mean?
the only explanation is that it was a sexist remark.
That can only be it.
That's the only
My
explanation.
first idea would be he likes chocolates and wants to keep it all to himself. Maybe.
I don't know. Do sexist
I
men
don't
think
get
all
it.
women love chocolate? I think that's like I think it's a stereotype. Like,
I hate
well, no,
chocolate.
that's
Let's just
it's
get
not
that
that I
out there.
think it's a stereotype. I think that's the only explanation.
Gosh. I don't know. But yeah, I hate chocolate, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, that was another part of our trip. Is that we talk about how you got bullied, like, just like a lot.
I got bullied so much by everyone. And then one night, we went back to our room and I was like, RJ, everyone is bullying me. And she was like, I noticed that. She's like, it almost makes me want to stop bullying you.
Yeah, because it was like,
That's how bad it was, guys.
well, okay, so you guys know me. I mess with Sugi a lot, like in real life especially, like more in real life than I do like on stream, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Every waking moment of my life.
Like, what I'll do, like, I think we talked about this, like, before, where I'll point at her knees, and I'll just say broken, or something like that. Or
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just, like, I'll put my hand, like, on, like, your shoulder in, like, a very, like, in a predatorial way.
Well, okay, so, yeah, well, like, I injured my knees a long time ago, so they don't work very well, so she'll just, gosh, it was one time she did, like, drums on my knee, and she was, like, beatboxing, and then at the end,
It was like,
she pointed at them and was like,
broken. But I feel like it was longer and dragged out a bit more. It was like, broken.
the whole time, she's, like, tapping on my knee. Gosh. Who bullied the fish? Everyone bullied
Well, yeah, so
me.
I constantly do this stuff to Sugi because I don't know why. It brings me joy. It brings me a bit of serotonin or dopamine. I don't know, whichever one. So
And at the cost
but
of
I think like,
sanity.
okay, so if it's usually it's me, Sugi, and Ijimom, and Ijimom does not partake in the things that I do, so it's literally just me. But I think like a few more people were on my wavelength on this trip or something. So I think it kind of got to overkill, right? Or people saw what I was doing. They saw that I was having, or that it was fun or funny, right? So people jumped in, I guess.
It was, the thing is, like, I don't mind jokes like that, but there was just a few times where it just got taken, like, way too far, and then my feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, I could say the one thing from that one time.
When we were eating street food, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the beginning of that, but at the end, so I don't know how long they were, like, ripping into me. We're just eating, and, like, gosh, and then at one point I was like, why do you pick on me? And the person was like, was like, well, no one pays attention to you unless I'm picking on you. And I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, and I kind of like, I had a hands over my mouth moment. I was like, oh my gosh, I would not have gone
I was
that
like,
far.
that one got me.
Yeah, that's
So
like,
I was, yeah.
but it wasn't, you know, they were joking, but they
yeah,
also
they didn't
didn't really
say
know
that.
Sugi that well.
Yeah,
So
they
it's a-
didn't say it to be mean. They said it as a joke, but I was like, I
But
don't
yeah, you know, there's, I was like, afterwards we all got back into the room and Big A was there too. And Big A was like, I don't know, I feel like that person can take it a bit too far sometimes. And she's just like the nicest person. Big A is a perfect person. You guys ever meet those people where they're just like very nice, but they won't like stop you from like doing your own like edgy jokes?
Yeah, if
and they
she didn't
respect
make-
it.
yeah, she didn't make a lot of edgy jokes, but if she did, she'd immediately go, I'm kidding.
He's like, yeah, I'm just kidding. But it was really funny.
Yeah.
I think there was like
man.
one time when she didn't say I'm kidding, right like immediately after, and I was like, and she was like, no, it's okay, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Anyways.
it wasn't, yeah, obviously wasn't her, it was other people. But anyway, so I just got bullied a lot on this
Yeah,
trip.
to the point where I was like, I'm gonna hold back a little bit, I think.
We were in class one time, and well, it was like not really class, it was like after the end of class.
Was it
and-
when we were ragging on you for like not liking
Yeah.
chocolate?
And so at one point, then RJ was like, should we stop? And I was like, maybe.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
tried to be a little bit more aware in that situation.
It was just like people like just every day, like just continuously every day. I was like, I can't do it.
You kind of did become the punching bag.
It really was not not ideal.
And like at the same time we're like already going through so much.
I know, I was already, so RJ and I, nobody on the trip would argue about this, that we had the worst experience.
We absolutely, well, it's like, okay, so
Because
Sugi
of
and
the
I
class.
at the end of like this program, we kind of were both just like, that was really, really hard the entire way through. I felt like
Yeah.
I didn't really get a moment of rest until it was all over.
Mhm.
And then like, but everyone else was like, that was like an awesome trip. I feel like we did a really good job and everything went very smoothly.
And we were just like, oh, you didn't hear?
So it was really only bad for us, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But we were also like, the staff from the school, they understood our situation, so they were very forgiving of us in the way our
yeah, like
class went.
the native teachers there understood.
No, I was literally thinking of that scene, Red Widow. Sugi, you haven't seen any Rick and Morty, probably, have you?
I've seen that clip where the kid is Morty, right?
Yeah.
The kid is like getting beat up by this monster thing, and then he like jumps through a portal.
Thank you.
And then he stands there for a second. And he's
Ava
like,
Machina.
no.
Ava
And then he
Machina?
makes the portal and he jumps back through and he punches the guy, but then the guy's like old.
I don't remember
Do you
that
know the
clip.
clip? And then all the kids are like, you just hit our grandpa. And he's like, he wasn't that old a second ago. That's the
No,
only clip I've
that
seen.
must be the later. I only saw like seasons 1 through 3, I think. But I think in the third season, there's like a scene at the very beginning of the episode where Rick and Morty go on like whatever space mission or something, and they're like, this will be fine, like 20 minutes in and out or something like that. And then like there's like a time skip, and it's like 2 weeks later, and they like saved like this like planet from something. And then they're like saying like, oh, thank you, and they're like accepting their awards, and then they like sit down in their car, and like they take a second, and they both immediately just start like sobbing.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Yeah, I'll show you that clip later.
Okay. I'll show you
Um,
the clip I was talking about.
Okay. Everyone remind us to show each other Rick and Morty clips after this.
Yay!
So anyways, that's pretty much all of the L stories. There's one more, but I think we need a bit more like lead up into how exactly the second week went. Till that
I don't. Wait, what is that?
I'll lead into it and then you can tell
Okay.
it. But so the first week obviously was me and Sugi winging it, like every single day. Like basically we had to come up with 2 lesson plans every single day because you know the youngers and the olders. So
It's time to hydrate.
oh, has it hydration time? I have a LaCroix, but I think it's about empty, so I will not hydrate.
Drink it.
It's empty. But anyways, So for the second week, we were like, okay, oh my gosh, remember to hydrate. You guys have been talking nonstop for an hour. Whatever, it's fine. I'll survive. So anyways.
Gosh. Immediately just like.
Yeah. Over the weekend after the first week, we were told oh my goodness, not to blame us, but we were told like our class was definitely the weakest.
But like, they weren't mad at us though.
They were not upset with us, and we understood that as well. But at the same time, we were like, okay, we need to try and like do something to fix this. So we
get to talk about this now.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like we shouldn't talk about this one as much.
True.
Because I feel like, I don't know, it was, for me at least, I feel like it was more of like a personal issue. But,
True.
Well, at the same time, we had at least 3 people complaining.
Anyways. I feel like, yeah, go
on. But yeah, this one, okay, so we talked amongst the little teachers, and we were discussing like what could be done about our situation, and we mentioned G before, and I'll give just a little bit of background on G. So basically, G was working with Big A as the teacher's assistant for PE, and they had done like the first week together. But G also has experience working with kids, just in general. Like, I think more from like more like on a personal kind of like big sister level, we'll say. So she is very good at talking with kids, and she like knows how to like keep conversation and stuff like that going. Basically, she would be a better fill-in for our lecture class than me and Sugi could do. Because I can make conversation with kids. But I can't, like, teach I can't, like, I can't teach, you know? Whereas, G was able to do that. So we talked with G, and we talked with Big A. So for the second week, we came up with the arrangement of Sugi and I would be switching off like first half of the day, second half of the day. One of us would be in the lecture class for the first half of the day, and the other one of us would be in PE, and you know, vice versa. And then G would remain like permanently in the lecture class, and then Big A would remain permanently in PE. And Big A was actually, we found out later that Big A was really fighting for us to be in the PE class with her, and she said we did a really good job, and that made me happy.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't be mad at you. Your class, you literally didn't have a teacher in that. Yeah.
They weren't. No one was mad at us.
Yeah, and which is a big relief for me.
Yeah. I was really worried about it.
Yeah, because I also didn't want it to reflect poorly on our director, and I think the American director definitely had to take the fall for it, because she was, and I don't think it was completely her fault either, because Elle's resume seemed pretty solid, but because like, I think just because it was like volunteer based, she didn't want to be picky, so she didn't do like an interview or anything beforehand. But now she's like, okay, there's a level of of quality that we need to maintain, like volunteer based or not. There's like, we need to be a bit more on this. So like she took the fall. I felt a little bad because I didn't think it was fully her fault. It was this guy's fault for saying he had a plan and lied, basically. But anyways, we figured out a different system for the second week, which definitely worked better. Except that I was already super burnt out from the first week. And yeah, and I felt happy that it was like well received, because you know, it was like our plan that we came up with, and not like something that they had to come up with. So I feel like we solved, there was an issue that wasn't ours, but we solved it anyways, and that made me happy. So this is why I have to jump through so many hoops even for applying for this kind of yeah. And this was, we'll say it was like, the program was a bit more, it was not like strict curriculum, I guess. It was more to introduce like ESL, I guess. And like I guess a bit of like American culture. Sugi, are you okay? What's hello? Or are you talking to your own chat?
Dropped, so then I had like bent all the way down off my desk.
Okay.
Good now, I'm
Anyways,
good.
I don't remember what I just said. But yeah, hard work. So anyways, do you wanna I'll let you talk about the second week.
Well, I don't want to like.
Because I feel like
you.
here, I do feel like a lot of like our concerns, it's not worth saying because in the end things were done and they were done properly, right?
I'll just say the second week
Yeah.
was not as hard as the first week, but it was still really frustrating because I feel like G as a person is very like she's very much a leader, but just like
That's why I'm hesitating to say things, is because I
Yeah.
do respect G a lot. But she I think was just not used to the kind of position.
yeah.
Like this was her first time like I guess teaching overseas.
Yeah, I think what happened, so she just took the responsibility of teaching the one class really seriously, which is really good, except in that
She took on every role, or she tried to take on every role for her. She wasn't really a teacher, even if she could teach better than us. Like, there were some responsibilities that she, like, didn't, like, accomplish properly, I guess. Like,
yeah, it was just kind of like she wanted to kind of be responsible for too many things so that she would ignore a responsibility she'd already been given to take
Yeah.
on a new one.
Like,
which
for example, like one kid, or there was like one time where like a kid, like his knee started bleeding or something, just for whatever reason. And then we had a teacher's assistant in that
you know
class.
how knees spontaneously bleed.
Well, I don't feel like with kids they do. But we had another teacher's assistant in that class, and I sent him over to like essentially just like wash the blood off and slap a band-aid on it. So
It's a kid, you know?
yeah, but I noticed like as this was happening that G stopped teaching. So I kind of prompted her. I'm like, "Oh, go ahead. You can keep going." And she was like, "Wait." And she just like watched this kid get the blood washed off and like have a band-aid slapped on him. And then when he came back, she continued. And I was just kind of like, "Okay, when this kind of stuff happens, you kind of want to you're not supposed to make the entire class focus on this. You know, you're supposed to you're supposed to keep going."
Yeah. So it was just things like that made the second week hard.
Like if she it kind of gave off the impression that she felt like it was her responsibility to make sure that this kid like would be like okay, but while doing so, she neglected the rest of her class.
Yeah.
So it just felt like, you know, she wasn't like, she didn't fully understand like the responsibilities of being a teacher.
So the second week was definitely better, but there was still there were still issues. That's all.
Yeah.
Is that why RJ says your knees are broken? Yeah, my knees spontaneously bleed.
That's the that'd be horrible.
That's it. That's the bit.
That'd be nasty.
They don't bleed, but I can.
They're cracky. They're poppy.
I can do other things.
They're nasty. So anyways, okay, I feel like so there were some stressful parts of the second week. I think the most stressful part for me was just that like every night after school, we would have to get taken out, or we would get like brought somewhere. Hello, Lori. We're back. Anyway, so we would just get like taken out somewhere as like a thank you from like a member of this like school or a parent or something like that. But it was until like 10 p.m.
Yeah, which it's like you don't want to like. It's nice of them, but you can't expect us to teach all day and then be taken.
If we want to do a good job at school every day, then we have to be well rested. But it was just getting so hard to like maintain that. Also, it was so hot, and we were outside like whenever we got taken out. We were outside so much,
It was really really hot.
It was like really really miserable, and people native to the country like were like, "Haha, yeah, it's miserable." I'm like, "Why don't you do anything about it then?" Gosh, so basically, I just like I started venting more and more at night, and then one night we were taken out to an amusement park that we couldn't say no to because it was all paid for.
Which, like, if I will say, if we hadn't have already gone out every day that week,
It would have been fine.
it would have been fine. But they took us out every day, like out late and like walking and doing all this stuff. So then the amusement park on top of that was just too much because amusement parks.
Bean Bun's asking if it was humid hot or dry hot. Oh baby, it was humid. Hello, Lord Remy, thank you for the bits. I'll jacket flap to that. So we went to this amusement park, and I guess like we were standing up all day, and it was, you know, so my legs started to give out at the end of every day just anyways. And like on top of that, we had been like walking and doing all these like things and just doing so much every night. My legs were exhausted, and I think my shoes also suck.
Yeah, your shoes do suck.
Yeah, I don't know. They're Adidas. They're supposed to be good.
Well, but they're not like.
They're also like high tops, I guess. So whatever. And they were the wrong shoes to bring on this trip for many reasons. But it'll. Whoa, you're flashing a little bit, Sugi. I think you're fine though. So, anyways, I'm just in a lot of physical pain. Physical and mental pain, actually, for the second week. So so we're at the amusement park, and there were some things that I wanted to do there. Like, I'm not very much of a ride person, just because I get pretty bad motion sickness, so I will like throw up on roller coasters, so I just don't do them. It's better to not deal with that, you know what I mean?
And I don't go on them because I'm afraid.
Feel bad though, because they seem fun. I'm also afraid of heights, so I don't like the big drop roller coasters. But basically, I don't do a lot of rides when I go on amusement parks. But there are some rides that I can do, and there are some things that like that are fine. So I found some things at this amusement park that I'm like, I really want to do these things. These seem like fun. So we get in line. I think what happened is, okay, so we get in line for like the first ride, which is one that I could do. It's just like a little like water ride, and it was actually really fun.
I wanted to tell this. I took a video of us on the water ride. There's a part where we slammed into one of the walls, and over top everyone yelling in the background you can hear RJ go like really.
Well, I did it for the bit because I thought it would be
so funny.
So like, and like we slam into a wall really hard because it's basically it's kind of an inner tubey kind of ride.
Yeah.
So we slam into a wall. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need to see the chiropractor after that one." So for the bit, I just go.
It was so fun.
You can hear it in the video.
Extreme.
But anyways, we did that.
Okay, listen. Wait, really quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Extreme sports Sugi is afraid of roller coasters. Roller coasters are not an extreme sport, so I am afraid of them.
Oh, and then okay, Sio wants us to send the video, so we can do that after.
Oh, I'll send it.
Yeah. So okay, Sio, we'll tell you more information about the characters in that ride as well. So, also, we're stating during this amusement park, Elle is there. Okay, I want to talk about every single person who is like on.
Wait,
who's
put up
at
the chart. We've got to introduce
so
the other staff category.
All right, hold on.
Light of my life.
Little
other staff.
Oh, the irrelevant ones.
They're in the
right. Okay, other staff.
Come on, they're not irrelevant.
No, I thought you were talking about the more American teachers, but they are irrelevant.
No, the other staff category you can now see my two favorite people on this whole trip.
Definitive A
and J. Top tier people. Let me just tell you. So
okay.
they went with us to the amusement park, and then a bunch of the little teachers went. And then for some reason Elle was there.
Elle was there, and little teachers were all young women.
We're like, why are you here?
So other staff, Definitive A and J, they're native to the country. So it makes sense that they were there because they were kind of guiding us. And then Elle was there.
For no reason. Is that Sugi Bank? Yeah, it is. We'll tell that story.
Well, we'll get to there. Okay, so anyways. We're gonna hold on. Red Widow sent a wall of text. I like roller coasters. As a kid, my family went to Cannon Park, which has the Big Dipper roller coaster from the late 50s. My brother and I got on the rickety old wooden roller coasters, and it was terrifying. The safety bar did not lock. I was certain I would be flung from the car and die. Oh no. I have some roller coaster stories like that, but that's for another time. So basically, we do this one ride. It was okay. That first ride was fun. Nothing else for me was very fun, I think. So then there was a big roller coaster that everyone got in line for. And each ride, by the way, has an hour, like at least an hour wait. So, next one is the big roller coaster, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit out for this one. Sugi's like, okay, I'm gonna sit out for this one. And then Definitive A is like, I also don't want to go on this one. I did my roller coaster days, is how he phrased it. Or he's like, I had them. It's fine. We're done. So we kind of just sat out for that one. And there was not really much that was accomplished during that time, right? We just kind of sat out. We waited for everyone to end. It was fine though. I mean, that was my choice.
Yeah.
That was my choice. That was our choice, and we were fine. But basically to say, like, we weren't really doing anything. And then, I guess there was a third ride. But, like, everyone, like, a lot of people came back from the big roller coaster, and we'd also just eaten dinner. That was another thing that happened. So we'd just eaten dinner, so a lot of those people who went on the big roller coaster, they were like, oh, my stomach is kind of not okay right now. So a lot of people held back from the third ride. And also, so after the second ride, to get to the third ride, we had to climb up this huge hill. And, like, I wanna restate, I am I'm very, very physically exhausted at this point. It was on Thursday. It was on a Thursday. So, you know, we had done a lot of the week already. I'm physically exhausted. I've just eaten dinner. I don't know, this is another, like, side note. At this point, I think starting, like, the second week, I just started getting, like, sick after every single thing that I ate. And I think it was just because of stress. So I was also just not feeling good after our meal. Just, like, in general. So I have to climb this giant hill. And I'm like, I had to take, like, little breaks in between. And because I was like, I'm gonna die. And then it was, I mean, I'm not a physically fit person, I don't know, but, like, also just, like, from the pain from everything really started to wear me down. And I started to get a little bit peeved. I'm like, why the heck are we, because there was also, like, a ride that could have taken us to the top of the hill that we just didn't take.
But I explained that to you, remember?
You did, and I forget the exact reason. But I'm just saying at that moment, that frustrated me. And I was just getting more and more, like, all the things from the trip started to really weigh on me. We'll say. So I hung back on the third ride. And then I asked if we could do the things that I wanted to do, to which Definitive A and J were like, oh, we can't do those right now, they're closed. So I'm getting more and more bummed out. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, through this whole trip, I'm just kind of like, gosh, I'm exhausted, and I'm exhausted with people trying to say thank you by taking us out every night, because then I get more exhausted from that. I want to say that's a big thing. Like, just, like, getting absolutely, like, or getting burnt out from, like, I guess being hosted. You know?
Just, like over-hosted.
Over-hosted. Because then there's the social politics of, like, you know, like, for example, every time we went out to, like, eat, we were told, okay, this was very expensive, you guys have to eat everything, okay? So not only we're being, like, over-hosted, we have to take everything with a smile, whether we like the food or not. And we have to eat it all, so we're getting stuffed like pigs as well. So we're, like, I feel like there was never a moment while we were away that I was hungry. So
which is a good thing, but it was just too much.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't say no either, because that's rude. It was, and so all of that started to weigh on me. And like the whole trip. And then like finally, like we're leaving the amusement park. I think it was like, well, there's some other things that happened at the amusement park, but basically I was just too tired. And I was so burnt out. So we're finally leaving the amusement park, and we have to like wait for our shuttle to like show up to take us to the parking lot. And like we get there, and also I was kind of the person, like at least in like the little teachers, I guess, that people communicated through. Like, like you'll understand the reasons why, Sugi, but like
yeah, I know.
American director communicated through me, and then the native director communicated through me to the group, and then we were also staying at like someone's house, so our host, I guess our host mom, she communicated through me, and that was also like a lot of burden. So we were on the shuttle, like getting home, or like getting to the parking lot, when host mom like texts me, and she's like, when are you guys gonna be home? And she'd also been like asking me when we're gonna be home like every night, and I feel like, you know, it's within her rights to know when we're coming back into her house. But every single day, like, the plans changed on us, and we didn't know what was happening, so I could never give her a solid answer, and I felt bad.
We weren't really in charge or given information about like where we were going and when we'd be back, so it was just like we couldn't communicate.
It's just, you know, another thing to add to the burnout. So she was like, when will you be home? And I said, we're leaving now, it'll be soon. And she said, good, I have chicken waiting for you when you get home. You know, like at like 11 p.m. at night. And at this point, I broke down.
Like, we don't need like a full meal at 11 p.m. We've already eaten 3 full meals.
Yeah,
at this point, so we're walking, and like I knew like you were upset.
It was pretty, like we were walking to the van, and I think it was pretty obvious that I'm like not okay.
I didn't realize, so basically, like, I knew she was upset, but I didn't know she'd reached the point of upsetness that she had reached.
Well, I started like crying, and so I'm like in the back seat of this van, and I start crying, and then Baby A, who's a character we haven't really talked about much, because she was just a chill person. There was not really much to say on her, but she kind of like taps on me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I just kind of wave my hand. I'm like, I can't talk now.
Did you know? I don't think I told you this. She texted me while we were in the van. She was like, what happened? I was like, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. she was like, what should we do? And I was like, I don't know.
No, it's.
I was like, we just have to wait. Like,
yeah, it was basically just like I'd reached a breaking point, and I was just so exhausted from everything. Okay, so what happened? I didn't realize this. Like, Sugi, well, you kind of thought it was your fault because we had planned the day a little bit differently, but it didn't go that way. And then like, no one else knew what was happening in my brain. So everyone's like, what's happening?
Yeah. So
why is RJ crying right now in the back seat?
So it's G and Baby A and RJ in the back, and then me and EG Mom in the row ahead, and then L, and then
another teacher,
and
no, it was just L and the other teacher, and then
no,
staff.
There was someone else there. There was we haven't introduced this character, but they don't matter that much. So there was 3 people in the row in front. And then the driver, and then I'll text it to you.
Okay. Because I don't remember. I thought that was it. Hold on. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's kind of like, so like at this point I'm like, oh no, like I messed, like I thought.
Yeah. So I feel bad that you thought it was your fault. Because it was not.
Like, I felt bad because I was like, this is my fault. And then like I didn't notice. So on the walk back to the van, like I'd seen you and like I knew you were upset, but you looked like you weren't gonna cry at that moment. And then we're walking back to the car, and I was talking to, well, actually Definitive A was trying to trip me.
Yeah.
On the way back to the car. So I was busy. And then we get in the car, and I'm like, oh no. Like
Yeah.
something is
Well,
happening.
okay, so what was happening is the two back rows, they all definitely knew I was crying. And like I was fine that they knew. I just wasn't going to talk about it at that moment. The two front rows did not know.
I just thought of the story for the car.
Yeah, the last L story, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
this one's a really good one. So, this is the final L story, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we're in the van. RJ is crying in the back seat. But the row in front of me that contains L, they don't know that because they can't hear her from like where they're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish there was a way we could make these faces, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I can draw it and then I'll like post it.
Oh, draw it.
I mean, it's kind of like that monkey meme face, right?
Yeah. So
Here,
RJ and I
I'll
had a face.
attempt.
Every time L would say one of his, you know, like little sexist things or like just like a micromanaging thing, we would look at each other and we would do these faces. And I like how when you're like looking down, it like tucks your face into your coat collar.
Yeah.
So this will be funnier when you see the faces. But basically, we're driving home, and the people in front of me are having like a full-on conversation because they don't know what's going down in the back seat. But the rest of us are dead silent. And so I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what he said?
I don't remember what he said either, but he said
Okay.
some kind of like mansplainy old man kind of thing.
Just something. And in the moment he says it, I'm like instinctually like, I will look at RJ and we will do these faces. I forgot that she's crying in the back seat. I just didn't even think about it. So instinctually, I just whip my head around and I look at it and I look at you, and like it's nighttime, so illuminated by like the one
The
street
street
lamp,
lights, yeah.
I can see like
The
like
tears
the tear
streaming down.
tracks down her cheeks and like tears in her eyes, and like she just looks at me and she does the face.
What do you say it was like this face?
Wait, show me.
I put it into the off-topic chat.
Yeah, but you have to draw you with like tears.
Okay, hold on.
So just like it was the face, but like her, like there was just tears everywhere, but she still did. It was so funny, but it was
Listen,
so
the way I've
depressing.
described it is the bit takes priority. Okay, like listen, I'm having like emotional issues, but the bit takes priority. Here, let
So
me
we like look at each other, and then I'm like, oh no.
hold on. Let me switch to my game screen so you can and then Clip Studio properties. Is it please going to show me Clip Studio? Okay, so this is we should kind of look at each other like that, right?
I don't know if I can show it.
Oh no. Oh. Well,
You'll
people
have
will
to-
see it on my stream.
Yeah, you'll have to go to RJ's stream if you want to see the face.
That's how I
Actually-
look. This is the face we normally made at each other. But then because I was sobbing, it looked like this.
Send me that version.
Okay. Just a moment, please. Okay, there you go. So, yeah. No, that's like, we were talking about it. That's what happened, because, I talked about this before, but we had a trip, it was me and the caretakers, we went on a trip in, like, May, I think. And then I talked about I had a really rocky descent on the way home. And, like,
Gosh.
to the point where I had to get wheeled out of the plane in a wheelchair. But even in that moment, I was like, take a picture. This is really funny. Because I was, like, strapped into this straitjacket-looking wheelchair. It was really...
That is one of the
It was
most
really
pathetic pictures I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot explain to you guys how pathetic she looks. She has like a straight jacket on. She's
I
strapped
got, like,
into the
belts
smallest
like,
wheelchair
strapped
you've
across
ever
my
seen
chest.
because it has to be wheeled through the plane. And gosh, you just look so sickly.
That was a bad time. But anyways, I think, those are most of the stories. Sugi Bank. We could talk about Sugi Bank, which isn't really much of a story, but just a statement of a fact.
Isn't really a story, but yeah, go on.
Okay, so basically, we all owe Sugi money.
Lots of money.
We like a lot. Like Sugi kept a tab. Actually, we all did. Like throughout the entire trip, because I don't know, things would happen. Someone would forget their wallet at home, or someone would.
Mostly you.
Yeah, I forgot it like twice. Well, one time I didn't know I would need it.
One of those days was the biggest shopping day we went on, and she's like, I don't have my wallet, Sugi.
Well, it's because I thought we were gonna stop by. It doesn't matter. So, basically, I don't know, or like some like places we would need card for, or like sometimes I would just be too hot and sweaty to take out my wallet myself, because you know, when you're hot and sweaty, you want to move as little as possible.
Yeah, I was the lone shark of this.
That's what Definitive A called you.
Yes, I need
Definitive
to collect.
A was like, oh, so you're the loan shark. So anyways, that's the Sugi Bank story. I don't know why I put it as a. It's not really a story. We could talk about the plane ride home.
But like what? Just
basically, well, me and Ijimon, well, Sugi didn't sleep at all, but she was like, it was fine.
Well, that's just how my life goes.
I'm not gonna say exactly how long the plane ride was, because I don't want to like. It was you know, international. It was a long one.
Wait, have I ever talked about? Well, yeah, we were awake for long. I've never talked about like the longest time I was awake for, but I should tell that story.
Another day.
Yeah, another day.
Because I also we said we were gonna go to Taco Bell after this. It was gonna be our first time to Taco Bell since we got back. It's a very important thing. So I want to wrap this up pretty quickly.
My mic is like messed up. I'm gonna unplug it really quick, but keep going.
Okay. Do you want me to tell the story? Not if you want me to tell the story.
No, go on.
Okay. So, the plane ride back. So, it was me and Ijimon and Sugi and holy crap! Sugi, stop! Okay. Sugi, whatever you've done was the wrong thing to do. Hold. I've muted you on my stream. All the sounds that could have just like into the microphone. It was just like it was horrible. It picked something up. Okay, you're back.
It probably randomly selected
a microphone
mic that I have.
Okay, yeah, it's Wolfric said you stuck your mic in a blender. That's what it sounded like.
So sorry, guys. I hope. No, dude, my everything is broken. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But basically, it was me, Ijimon, Sugi, and our American director on this flight home because everyone else had left like a week before we did. We stayed an extra week as like vacation, I suppose. In hindsight, honestly, I probably would have gone home with everyone else. But
really?
In hindsight, I don't regret it, but like I was also just very exhausted after that, you know, and there was no way of knowing how like horribly the trip would have gone for us. If the trip went as smoothly as like for me as it did for everyone else, then I would, you know,
it would have been a very different trip.
Yes. So, anyways, we're in this plane. And we actually got bumped up to Comfort Plus, which at first I was very excited for. But then I found out it was basically the exact same, except we got like a couple extra inches of legroom. And that doesn't really make all the difference. You know, it's kind of nice, but it's not a game changer. So me and Ijimon, we both had the middle seats. And we were both like tossing and we both just like couldn't get comfortable the entire flight. And it was horrible. And like I got under 2 hours of sleep, like in the whole like I don't know travel time of like, well, so basically in about 24 hours I had gotten maybe like an hour and 45 minutes of sleep, and Ijimon apparently got like half an hour of sleep, which is weird because she usually sleeps like a rock. But basically, we had a hard time on this flight, and we were supposed to get a layover. Like, it was supposed to be, like, we got back into the States, and then we had a layover flight. Like, to, like, our closest airport to where we live. But, for whatever reason, like, that, like... we had a layover flight, but it was scheduled for the next day. So we would have had to have stayed the night in, like, this other airport and then flown out the next day. Just for whatever reason. Who knows why. So, like, this layover airport was not too far away from, like, our home base, I suppose.
But it was just too long.
It was...
After what we'd been through.
Like, from the time we departed, like, that, I think it took us about 4 hours to get home, like, including stops and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, we're all incredibly sleep deprived. I have never been through a more agonizing car ride in my life.
So miserable.
Because it was also not a big car. So it was 2 people driving us back, and then, you know, like, 3 people could sit in the back seat. And so it was me, Sugi, and Ijimom in the back seat. The American director had something else that needed to be done, so we didn't all go home together. But yeah, so I was like in the middle seat for like the first half of that car ride, and I was like dying because, like, you know, it's like sometimes in the middle seat, and this was the case for this car, there's like a hump like that you have to sit on, like it just like it arches up, you know, like, whereas the other 2 seats kind of like cave in for your butt to go. But just in the middle seat, it like there's a bump, and you gotta sit on that, and it gets sore after a while. It starts to hurt. And I'm also just like in like whatever kind of pain happens to you when you're incredibly jet lagged and sleep deprived.
Yes.
And also haven't eaten enough, but you can't eat or else your stomach will invert, you know? So I'm like dying. And then I forced Ijimom to go into the middle seat for the second half of the car ride. Gosh, that felt like it's so long.
It was such a long car ride.
It felt like a whole day. Like that car ride. It was only 4 hours, but gosh, it was so agonizing.
And then, yeah, it was just a bad time.
It's basically the end. I got to sleep in my own bed for the first time in a long time. And that was really, really, really nice.
Yeah, except we're very jet lagged. That's about it.
Well, yeah, I'm still very jet lagged. In fact, I could take a nap right now, probably.
I actually managed to stay awake till like my normal bedtime, and then I woke up at my normal awake time. So I actually might be okay. We'll see.
You're still gonna get tired early.
I'm gonna get tired, but maybe I can fight it.
I don't know if I can. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. today.
Actually, I can fight it.
It was my cat happy to have me back. I couldn't find my cat right away when I got home. I looked for him, but he was off somewhere else. So I was like, you know what? Screw him. I don't need him. I'm going to sleep. And then I went to sleep, and then he found me later, and then we loved each other. But yeah, that is the story of us being gone and now being back. I can't speak for Sugi. But I'm probably not gonna stream a whole lot right away.
I have to mentally rest.
Yeah, I need a bit of time, and I also have a lot of like other work things that I need to like devote my attention to, like a lot of cool projects.
Yeah. Also, my mic is like messed up, so I have to fix that. Apparently.
Oh my gosh, everything is broken for you.
I hate it. I hate
broken.
Stop.
So yeah, I'm gonna be jet lagged and also working on other things for a few days. But I wanted to say hi to everyone because I miss streaming a lot.
Yeah, and we wanted to like go over all our trip stories, so this was fun. Also,
yeah.
My cats miss me. They definitely. There was like a rotation of cats all night coming in and out of my room, and then when I got up to stream,
there's a wild Bill Nark. Thank you, KZD.
All the cats that weren't sitting at me with my desk are like asleep on my bed right now.
Where's I think my cat might be under my blanket, but I don't know for sure. But anyways, Sugi, would you like to go to Taco Bell?
Yeah.
You want to do that right now exactly?
I need to change, but yeah.
I mean, we're just doing the drive-thru, right?
Yeah, I just feel yucky.
Alright, fine. But yeah, I will see all of you probably at some point. I don't. We kind of have a. What's the
We've
you know
got a
based
lot
on
of stuff.
we have a lot of things happening like in this next week.
So regular streaming will probably start after.
We could do speedrun Sunday though. That's on the 21st.
Can we? I might not be able to actually.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to see.
I'll do it with JR or Wallow or someone.
How dare you?
We'll get whatever. Anyways, I'll try and squeeze
Ooh.
in 1 or 2 streams this week, but understand that we're still resting. We just got off the plane yesterday
Yeah, like we haven't even been home
for 24 hours.
24 hours. We've been, yeah, actually, yeah, wow.
Yeah, so oh yes, we do have to show each other Rick and Morty clips.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll do that in the.
Actually, we should find someone. I don't know if maybe I won't raid anyone today. This was a RJ Sugi stream only. This isn't something we can pass on, right?
Yeah, that feels fair. Also, no one I know is live, so.
I don't think anyone creativity is live, or I would have been notified. Yeah, it's just me. So
It ends here.
yeah, we're just gonna end, and then we're gonna not raid anyone. So you guys find your own people to watch. Thanks for the dehydrate.
Thank you for
Cat.
joining us.
All right.
Today.
Yeah, we'll be back with your regularly scheduled programming pretty soon. And I have just so many projects that I actually like started right before we left that I have to get back to work on.
Yay!
And they're really cool. I haven't even talked about Timmy. I haven't even talked about the Timmy rig.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened while we were gone.
And I'm so bummed I didn't get to capitalize on it.
That was really sad, actually.
And the post didn't even do well. But to the point where I want to like make another post about it, but I can't because I'd have to get my tweets approved, and it's so much work. And I don't think anyone's around to approve my tweets anymore, so I can't make any more posts about it, but I can retweet the other one. Anyways, I'll talk more about the Timmy rig at some point, but not now. I'm gonna leave you guys all.
Goodbye!
Goodbye!
Really? Why? End it.